Welcome to showcase number 2 of my 10k dueling coasters competition. Again, it has been absolutely fantastic to go through all of these entries, and I really hope you enjoy looking at them just as much as I have. Let's not delay any further, let's get into the second showcase of my 10k dueling coasters competition. For the first rides of our second showcase, we have Electro, which is a pair of dueling Premier Ride launch coasters. Now these look fantastic. First of all, I love the track colour. White coasters are just, I don't know about them, they just look pretty cool, and the custom supports to make them look equally as fantastic. And you get elements like this where the track is just so twisted and like contorted around each other, it just looks fantastic. And the fact that this has like a fully themed area around it as well just makes it all the bit more special. I love that view there of the track like bursting out the top of this destroyed building. It's like got a really mysterious theme and vibe around it. You don't really know what the ride could be about in a way. It's very intriguing, I think is the best way to put it. I'm going to take a ride on the first coaster now. I already really like how the crumbling station building's framing the view out, and the foliage is like really dense as well. It's just adding more to its like mysterious vibe. I really like the look of it. Oh, that's cool. In that room there's like loads of electricity and stuff going on. There's some nice airtime twists and turns, some near misses with scenery, which is pretty cool. It's so mysterious about what this ride's about. There's a flat ride off in the corner as well, which is nice. Get nice and up close to all of the like scenery pieces, and the custom supports look brilliant as well. I like how they interact with the path. Custom supports that interact with paths I just think are so cool. Like when you're walking right past them, you just make sure you're like that much more immersed in the themed area. It's so cool. I want to get a better look at this room when we go past. That is a nice fence too. Yeah, I really like this room. There's like electricity and cables going on. It's like it's powering the launch. That's really clever. Great interaction between the two rides as well. The near misses and like theming interaction I think is my favourite part about this. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Really great first set of coasters for the second showcase. The next set of dueling coasters we have is Elementalia. This looks amazing. The custom supports on this are absolutely fantastic. It's a dueling launch and sit down coaster. Both of them thrill coasters as well, which is great to see. But it's like a package deal. Like I mentioned in the first showcase, these two coasters are designed for each other. They both come off of the same supports. Some of the track is actually like, well, touching at some points. It's probably the same track. It's a lot like the Dueling Dragons coaster. I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere in Asia, the Intamin one. It looks so much like that, which is absolutely incredible. That coaster is fascinating. So is this one. All the custom supports look brilliant. The landscaping interaction looks fantastic. I really can't wait to ride this. It looks great. I'm so excited to ride on this one. We're going to do the sit down one first. Hydraulic launch, starting us straight off into a huge vertical loop. The hang time on that must be insane. You're getting such a sense of the speed of this ride as well. All the custom supports look brilliant. Very nice and snappy, well smoothed coaster. It's flying around the layout. It's absolutely hauling. There's just so much going on. Like the scenery is brilliant. Using the rapids there as like a flowing river. Really nice effect. This is a great blueprint. This is like perfect example of how to do a themed coaster blueprint. Interaction between the different coasters is great as well. Nice station to finish off with. On the inverted side now, we should get a better view of all those low to the ground interaction. Wow, okay. The stall on the top of that loop is perfect. Flying through all these custom supports and the trees. Very nice profiling on this one too, where you get so close to all the rock work. That element's brilliant. Two inversions on top of each other. I really want to build a coaster site like this now. You've convinced me. I'm going to build one. I will, I promise. The speed of this thing's insane. It's keeping up the speed as well. Like, it's not slowing down. It just keeps going. Absolutely flying into the brakes. That is brilliant. I really enjoyed this coaster. Done such a good job on them too. Great work. The next pair of coasters we have is Enclosure, which by the looks of it is an arrow dueling coaster, but sort of in this wooden hybrid style, similar to Gemini at Cedar Point. This looks really cool because it's like a smaller version, and the dueling is a lot more like freeform because most of the time the tracks aren't connected, so they like have the freedom to be able to do more interesting maneuvers and don't have to follow the exact same like turns and dips that Gemini does. This looks really interesting. I've never really seen a person create a coaster like this before. Like a creator to merge the track of the arrow coaster, obviously turn the supports off, and then run a wooden coaster track underneath it to generate the supports. It's a really clever idea, and like it works quite effectively. I'm really interested to have an experiment with that, because it's like a very good way to mix up how the game like produces its own supports. I'm gonna ride the right one first. It's using the arrow trains as well, which is really cool. Very nice profiled bank drop. This coaster feels quite classic in the way it's presented, but the profiling looks pretty modern. Nice fly through there of a tunnel, which is pretty cool, some decent airtime. Interaction between the two is pretty good as well. Then one of them goes through a tunnel, which is quite nice. Head choppers, lots of airtime towards the end, wow. But the interaction between the two of them seems pretty constant as well, like dipping and diving underneath each other. That's really cool. And then onto the left side, this drop looks even bigger. Flying down to the ground, we've got a really low to the ground section on this side, then it flies up into quite a like sharp bank turn at the top, giving some decent airtime. Good airtime in the tunnel as well. Actually, yeah, I feel like this one has quite a lot more classic arrow transitions, which is really nice to see. Like, it's intentional jank. It's very well done, actually. I think you've studied the way arrow coasters work quite nicely. And then back into the station for this one too. I really like the look of this. The area is like nicely landscaped and everything. It's got like a very classic vibe about it. And I like the night lighting that goes on the tunnel as well throughout the rest of the area. All the little lights that go up the lift hill. Yeah, really good creation. I enjoyed this one. Calling all Intamin enthusiasts, this one is definitely for you. Look at this. We have F22, a dueling Intamin Blitz coaster with synchronized vertical launches. Like, what is this? It's crazy. The custom supporting looks fantastic. This coaster, I think, is 2 meters smooth. Oh, well, sorry, both coasters. That is a hell of a commitment to... Yeah, look at that. They're both 2 meters smooth, which is crazy. Both fully custom supported, and we're already on the POV because these are quite long rides, but I love these. They're so cool. Going up into the vertical launch now. This one, vertical launch and then immediate inversion afterwards. But the interaction between these two is fantastic. Look at them flying around, like over and under each other. It's giving me like very much like fighter jet style. You can see them like, I don't know, twisting around next to each other. It's like they're trying to have a fight or just, I don't know, spiraling around because it looks cool. Nice mid-course there, slows the ride down so you get some interesting hang time elements, and then it really picks up the speed again towards the end of the layout. Nice wave turn, really cool off-axis moments, and then it probably slams into the brakes with some right speed. Yeah, it does. Really great. And then onto the second one there. I love how the supports are like supporting off each other. The different tracks are supporting each other as well. Round into the second vertical launch, where this one doesn't go upside down straight away. It goes over some great airtime at the top and then spirals down in inversion. It's fantastic. I love this ride. It's absolutely powering through the layout as well. It's hauling, 2 stalls together, dive loop. This one does like a cool wave turn instead of the inversion, and then like flies upwards into the mid-course. They're both perfectly in sync as well, I've noticed, which is really satisfying. And then this one obviously has a slightly different ending where it does like 2 quite powerful whip turns and then dives back towards the floor before a final inversion. This is really cool. Great combination for these 2 coasters. It's a very strong pair of coasters as well. Like, they're both brilliant rides. I could see this being like one of the best coasters in the world if it was real. Like, they would probably be my number 1 easily. Intamin Blitz is a very easy way to please me, but that's brilliant. Well done. Congratulations. Falkor and Firnen, I think is how you pronounce this immaculately themed pair of coasters. Look at this. Talk about rock work and terrain. This looks fantastic. Dueling launched Mac coasters once again. We've had a lot of these in this competition, but I will never get tired of them. This fully custom supported, 4 meter smooth, absolute beauty, looks fantastic. I love it. There's been so many incredible blueprints in this competition, it's crazy. They just keep getting better. Look at the view you get when you come down the entrance platform. All the custom supports everywhere, there's track everywhere you look. The dueling aspect of these is really cool as well. It's like they're like flying around each other almost. You feel like they're going to crash at some points. It's brilliant. You've got a nice queue all around here as well. It's like very atmospheric as you're like finding your way through the rocks up towards this really cool station that has a very loud noise and, and like some interesting dramatic effects going on as well. But we're on the right side first. Really cool inversion to start off with. I'm just talking a lot. I'm saying a lot of words because this coaster's so cool. I'm having a great time on this though. It's very Mac. Like some of the transitions and like off-axis airtime hills, the inversions, all the hang time like that there. It's very, very Mac. I'm really enjoying this one. The custom supports also look fantastic. I think we just hit a bush, but never mind. I'm having a great time on this one. And time for the other coaster. Probably just as good. The track colours look really nice as well. They really complement the like overall colour palette of the area. They're both very different layouts as well, which is cool. Interaction's nice between them. Very like strong and smooth inversions, which is great. The profiling's fantastic. Like banks in all the right places, all the right amount. Should I just shut up now? I've been talking. I've been talking a lot. Should we just take in the atmospherics of the rest of this ride? Sorry, I really like that cheat down section. I can't not talk about it. Really cool effect in the station here as well. I'll be quiet for it. It's very, very loud. I'm sorry. This area looks fantastic at night as well. This creator has done an absolutely fantastic job. This is how you do a themed blueprint, and you've done it very, very well. So, congratulations. Next up we have Festival of the Dragon. Now Mystic has made a whole park here pretty much. It's got like a really cool formal entrance and everything. The theming is brilliant and just look at these coasters. Dueling B&M inverts. I'm happy to see these come in quite a lot in this competition and they just look great. The theming's really nice on them, like all the rockwork and natural theming. The custom supports as well look brilliant, and I love that there's just so much going on in this park. It's not just these coasters, and you'll see what very special thing is also at the end, but there's like flat rides and restaurants and loads of different buildings and pathways. It's so cool, and that view is just fantastic of the interlocking corkscrews. So we're going to take a ride on the right coaster first. I like the colours as well, how one's kind of like a dark grey black and this one's kind of like a dark blue, both with golden running rails as well, which looks really nice. Interesting first element, like doing a helix around the lift hill. I've never seen that before, but I do really like the effect. Very smooth coasters as well, the profiling is quite nice. Nice landscaping on the floor, all the rock work and everything, which looks really cool. And then there's this long sweeping inversion here. They're both tied together. That's really, really cool. And then into the brakes. All the rock work around the area looks really nice. I'm going to do chase view for this one so you can get a better like view of the two of them dueling together. That stall on the side of the lift hills there is brilliant. Get some great hang time. Again, great hang time there as well. As you come around into this turnaround section over the flat ride, really nice view over there. And you swoop back down, a couple more near misses with the supports, and you go straight over the other inversion there. That's really satisfying. Get a nice view of the rest of this mini park. I really, really enjoyed this. And there is also a little dark ride. How fantastic is that? This is completely extra to the competition. Just a nice little thing that Mystic's added in. It's so cool. But I really enjoyed the whole experience of this themed land, and to see it maybe turned into a whole mini park someday, it'd be really cool. On to the next creation, we have Fighters of the Forest, the Log and the Leaf. Now this is a great pair of dueling launched Intermin coasters with a couple of bits of custom support in, some nice near misses, some great profiled elements, and just an all-around really interesting pair of coasters. I like the way that they interact with each other, how they kind of go off and do an element before returning to like interact with each other. The coasters themselves look very smooth, and the actual elements as well offer such a variety of things. Like this turn here looks so much like Hyperia. I'm loving the profiling of that, and the custom supports up the first element look great. I only wish they would have continued because the quality of those custom supports look fantastic. We're going to be going on the first ride now, which I assume is the Leaf because it's green. I like the way this transfer track works, how it's like above you, and I assume that would lower down. Very smooth coaster from the first looks of things. It is absolutely flying around, the pacing's great. I love all these swooping turns that have been so well profiled and smoothed out. It's given me kind of very much modern internet vibe, but I was more sort of thinking of, what's the word, Cheetah Hunt, because it's like a long sprawling layout, and you can imagine this having loads of like dense vegetation and scenery around it. It created a really cool effect. But it also kind of is giving me the same twisting turn vibes that like Taran has. Obviously Taran doesn't have any inversions and this has quite a few, but it's giving me the same sort of like downwards twisting vibe that Taran has on quite a few of its elements. Really nicely profiled outer back there. It's hard to profile those. Up into like a snapping airtime hill, and then down like very close sections to the ground on the snapping elements. You can see what I mean with the Taran style. Going underneath pathways and stuff, very near misses, and then this is kind of like Hyperia's inversion, but I was going to say it's reversed, but it inverts on the way out as well. It's like if you took the latter half of that inversion on Hyperia and like mirrored it. It's such a cool idea. There's a nice pair of coasters with some great interactions. Our next pair of dueling coasters, we have Fire and Ice, which are two absolutely magnificent looking Mack Extreme spinners. Look at these. The custom supports look absolutely brilliant. It's like some sort of alternate universe dueling dragons from Universal, but with Mack Extreme spinners. Obviously this will be the more modern equivalent, and definitely the better equivalent, but it just looks fantastic. Look at this. The interaction between the two of them is really interesting as well, how they do like a couple of elements together and then go off their separate ways. The transfer tracks under the station, I had to get a little clip of them in there. We're going to take a ride on the ice side first, which dips underneath the fire side. I love the interaction between these two. The supports look brilliant as well. Team TK toppers for the supports, they're like really thick chunky ones so that the coaster will last a long time. Great first drop there, really cool bank turn. It's like quite a smooth and satisfying profiling type for the track, but obviously you don't want the most extreme elements for a Mack Extreme spinner because you're spinning round. That's already pretty extreme. You want it to be like quite a well-rounded, not chill, but I don't know, not too extreme coaster in a way, because obviously it's the spinning that makes it extreme, and this spinning feels very controlled, so this creator has clearly done a great job on that. And that was the ice side. We're going to do the fire side now, which I think is a little bit more insane. It does the outer bank here, which is quite cool, over the ice side. Really, really great view of the rest of the layout there. Plummet down the first drop. We're going to lock this one facing forwards so you can get a different perspective. Love that element there. So you can really see from the locked perspective what I meant about how this is a very well controlled coaster. Like the actual layout itself, it's nothing too crazy, but it's like perfectly curated to give that perfect spin as you've seen on the ice side. I just love how the coaster weaves in and out from all the supports, and the spinning is just so well done. It's absolutely fantastic, buttery smooth as well as all Max should be. Really, really great job on this one. And the night lighting is phenomenal. This looks like a product that would be a Universal park. Like, it's got that epic scale and like perfect view on the skyline that you would just expect that. Like, the quality of this ride is fantastic. Didn't even mention the queue that goes all sprawling around the area as well, and the brilliant station building. Fantastic job. Next up we have Fire and Ice yet again. Completely different take on it though, which is really interesting. We have a pair of dueling B&M inverts. These look fantastic. The shaping looks like very modern B&M, which is nice to see. So we've got like a nice mix of old and B&M in this competition, which is good. And like the other ones as well, they both featured like cool mirrored elements there with the Immelmans. And they both fly underneath, and you've got a loop that has a 0G roll going through it. Both very cool looking coasters. Again, the interaction between these two looks great. They're both coming very close to each other and almost like, it's like they've got elements where they're like charging towards each other and then like they're battling in a way, which is really cool to see. I love this view as well, the ride entrance. Yeah, fantastic view of both the lift hills. And we'll go on the fire side first. A nicely profiled first drop there, coming down close to the ground. Really stally inversion there, wow. Spend a lot of time at the top of there. Flying around. I think some of these are custom supports as well, which is nice to see. Very powerful vertical loop. Nice, oh it's not, I was going to say nice overbang, but it's an inversion, that's cool. Really close down to the ground. Nice snapping turns, a little bit of airtime there maybe as well. Then it's the brakes. Oh, it's good, I like that one. We'll go on the ice side now. Similarly, nice profiled first drop. I really like the supports on this, how they're like getting quite close to the track. Flying around. Nicely profiled inversion. Then into an overbag turn. A little airtime pop as well, like the previous one, pretty cool. Nice slow hang time inversion. Then a helix into the brakes. Little look at the night lighting there as well, very subtle, I like the look of this. Great pair of coasters. Onto our next dueling coasters, we have Formula X. Now these look fantastic. Nice little bit of custom supporting going on there as well. I love the whole racing coaster vibe, how they're actually racing each other. The themed area around it as well looks really good. Interesting station building. And this just looks like a really strong blueprint. I like the look of this. It's got some really interesting sweeping turns as well. Both of the top hats look like the outer bank, which is fantastic. And then it's just a complete mess of tangled track in the middle, which is so cool. I think there's also some great night lighting on this, so we'll have to have a look at that soon. There's a whole queue as well out the front of the building, like the little themed ride area around it. I like the launch strip as well, how it's almost themed in like it's a road or a racetrack. Oh, that's really cool. Like dueling outer banks. And they both fly around into loads of overbank turns and everything. Very nice. We'll go on the left side first. Very, very snappy launch. Straight into that overbank turn. Very cool. Going underneath and all around all the track. Crossing over each other as well, which is really cool. Like twisting hills. It's very much like race car movements, so like twisting in and out of turns and everything. And then slam into the brakes with all that speed. Go on the right side now. Launching straight into the slightly taller top hat this time, very nice to see. And it flies down through all this foliage as well as like little ride signs for theming, that's cool. Over the top of the station building, more swiping turns. They kind of just follow the same path these two, but they offer something a little bit different, which is cool. Slam into the brakes again, nice maintenance area noticed. Look at the night lighting as well, this looks fantastic, all the searchlights and everything. You've got the green go light down at the launch section. The speed on that top of that top hat's perfect. You can see them zooming around all the trees. I like how this section of the ride's a lot darker as well. It probably just increases the sense of speed at night. Yeah, really cool creation. I like this one. Next up we have Gulpee, Lemon versus Lime. This looks fantastic. I'm loving the colour scheme of this, obviously to do with the Gulpee brand that's in game. The coasters look great as well, very nice custom supporting. I like the different elements that the coasters have, like that stall on the Lime side looks fantastic. The Lemon side looks like it's, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's more of a slightly tame ride, slightly tamer. Even though it still does look pretty extreme. And then the green side, Lime, is obviously the more intense one. I love the custom supporting on that vertical launch as well. That looks fantastic. Really excited to give this one a ride. Down on the ground here, you've got all your Gulpee signage, your gift shop. Great view of the first turn of the Lemon coaster. Really liking the look of this. This creator's done a whole queue line as well, which is fantastic to see. Wasn't a requirement, so it's brilliant that you're all adding extras going above and beyond the brief. Obviously, because it's a blueprint, you can't have paths, so the fact that they've made their own custom pathing and using terrain like this as well without me having to do any terrain work, brilliant. Go on the Lime coaster first with the vertical launch. That's really nice. Great hang time at the top of there. And speed back down just past the lemon coaster. Nice stall. Very smooth this ride. Great airtime on my turn. Nice overbank and then slam into the brakes. That's good. Nice maintenance area as well on the coaster, I can see. We'll go on the lemon coaster now, just a quick turn before it gets into its launch. This looks like a more family orientated coaster. I love the little animatronic Gulpee there as well, that was good. Flying around its layout, I love those turning sections, very much reminiscent of Taron. Great airtime as well on this side. Nice bit of terrain work as it goes underground. Outer back turn, and then into the brakes. Yeah, great pair of coasters. It's cool that you've done a coaster theme to an in-game brand as well. It's a really interesting theme to go for. I really like it. And I love the way these two interact as well. They both have quite similar elements, but one's more extreme than the other. The whole ride area themed around them as well. Really cool creation. Next up we have Imox and Yaluk. Really interesting name for coasters, don't know what they mean, but pretty cool. But the actual attraction itself looks great. So these are dueling, what's the name for the coaster? The SNS El Loco coasters. You don't see many people use these, so it's really interesting that you've gone for this concept, but it looks great, the actual execution of it. Got a really interestingly profiled first drop, and they both go up into the respective mid-courses, and then have like loads of twists and turns, near misses with scenery pieces, until they navigate their way back to the station. Got some nice foliage and rock work going on, some nice triggers at the back there as you can see. Really intrigued about this coaster, it's very unique. I've never really seen anything like this before. It's sort of like a thrilling Wild Mouse kind of style that you've gone for, almost in a way like Tihiwaka, because the SNSL Loco is normally like quite compact, where this is all spread out, which is really interesting to see. First up, we'll go on the green side. Very interestingly profiled 2-drop. It's like it's in 2 stages in a way. Like it twists and then does like the kind of downwards drop. Got a nice twist there, airtime hill, another twist, then up into the mid-course, which just like gives you great airtime. Another pretty steep drop coming off the mid-course, flying over the blue track. And you kind of got this flat section of another mid-course just before you make your way over to the end. A few more flat turns to give you some cool laterals. And a drop into the brakes. Like all the mist effects going on there as well. Very cool. Go on the blue side now, and I had to ride this side at night because I had a look at the night lighting. It actually looks fantastic. Look at this. Very cool, like scenic lighting, highlighting the different parts of the track in their respective colours, which is very nice. I like this section as well, where it goes under this like beam structure, which is quite nice. Around the fountain. See the other one going around with the background and all that's green lighting, very cool. Then it does its nice little turn, little drop, and then back into the brakes. Yeah, really interesting pair of coasters there. Not something I've ever really seen before, this coaster type being used in this way, but I do really like it. Good job. Next up we have Interlacing Racing Wing Thing. I really like the look of this. Firstly, just the station building looks fantastic, but the way these two coasters are going around the ride area and interacting with each other, and the scenery that's in the ride area as well, they all look fantastic. I'm loving the look of this. I assume it's themed to what's the cat and hat thing with the thing twins. Never seen it, but I'm getting very strong vibes from that straight away. I love the look of the main building. It just looks great. It's so like freeform and nothing to do with grids. Like that must have taken forever just to create that itself. It looks brilliant. Got this nice plaza area out the front as well, and then the sign for the Interlacing racing wing thing. Got the nice extended queue inside as well if you need it. And then you have the two coasters themselves, thing 1 and thing 2. We'll go on the left side first. So this one banks and drops slightly underneath the other side, straight into a corkscrew, which is cool to see, and then it goes up into the building itself. You got like even more detail while you're up here just on the ride as well, which is very cool. I'm liking the look of this. That goes nice and slow so you can appreciate all the scenery. There's a little bit of a drop down into a helix. Another really cool inversion. I like the way that's profiled. And then it's the brakes. So we'll ride on the other side now, which is slightly different. It's like a less steep initial drop and then like goes into its actual big drop. A little pop of airtime there before it goes down into this turn. I like that. And it actually goes up and into the building like the other side. It's really cool how you're using this building not just as like a scenery piece, but as an actual interactive piece for the coaster as well, which is great. Nice interaction between the two rides there. And it dips back down and up into the brakes again. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The night lighting looks fantastic as well. It's such a unique style building that I really enjoyed. But I would very much like to see maybe even a whole park in the style of this, because it's just so interesting and unique. Really enjoyed this. Next up we have Inyo, which looks to be a really interesting type of coaster. It's a dueling coaster, obviously, as this competition would suggest, but it's like they share a couple of elements, which is really cool. So they both go up the same lift hill. There's obviously some sort of transfer track piece at the top, and then they both wait for each other before the drop, before going around the layout, and this looks really cool. There's a lot of interacting elements on this. It's a coaster very much where the trains are like flying after each other and interacting with each other throughout the entire layout, which is fantastic to see. I love all of the foliage and building work around this entire ride area. It just looks so well like landscaped and thought out, like landscape in the scene otherwise. I'm really liking the look of this. So we'll go on the white side first. So it waits at the bottom of the lift hill for both of them to be out the station, then uses the lift hill while the other one gets on behind, I assume. I like how the lift hill's grey as well, it's like the halfway in between these two colours. And then it waits on this LSM holding section there for the other train to catch up. And then we go down the drop. Really cool this. It's obviously quite like a Wild Mouse, but with a completely different take on it with the dueling element. They both go flying past each other there, I really like that. It's a really great family coaster. Nice twists and turns, bit of airtime. Then into the launch section. Really cool. So this one goes over the top of the other coaster. Round loads more twists and turns and everything. Oh, there you go, very, very Wild Mouse section. Then there's a nice helix and hops into the brakes. Yeah, I really like that. And they both use the same brake track as well, that's really interesting. So we're on the other side now, so we should hopefully see a little bit more of the dueling. Down the first drops they go, off the second ways. Nice rock work on the side as well. They go flying past each other again, that's really cool. And this one goes off on its own little journey before it meets up with the other one on the launch section. There you go, we met up with the other one, see it flying past, then we go on the smaller overbank turn. Nice bit of airtime, then you get another very nice Wild Mousey section. Down, another pop of airtime, and then back into the brakes, but this one will make it into the brakes first, and the other one will catch up behind. Yeah, that's a really cool concept, not something like I've ever seen before. I really enjoyed that one. The next dueling coasters we have is Jungle Racer. This looks like an excellent wooden coaster. The custom supporting, the first thing I noticed, obviously, being me, on the lift hill looks great. It's like a hybrid kind of structure with the steel supports and then the wooden track, and then the actual coaster itself looks fantastic. It looks like a very stereotypical GCI in the best way possible. It's got all the right elements that it needs. A crazy steep drop, even just for the height of it. Like this would probably be, I don't know, a family coaster maybe, but it's still got a crazy drop. The elements look great. All the banking and like little bunny hops and off-axis moments that GCI do all look fantastic. Got the nice two airtime hills that go over the entrance there. This just looks brilliant. I really can't wait to get on this. It's really giving me Heidi the Ride vibes from Plopsaland Japan. Like, they look very similar, but imagine if it was dueling like this, it'd just be so cool in real life. I just love GCIs anyway, but to go on a dueling one, I'd imagine it'd be pretty insane. So we're going on the right side first, very steep first drop, great profile in the water there. Nice little whippy transitions, go down into that turn, little airtime speed hill, another little speed hill with a big airtime hill. The profile looks great on this. And a couple of little dips up into the brakes. I really like that. Then we go on the left side. The drop looks even steeper on this side, or is it just me? Nice back turn, speed hill. There's a lot of nice back turns on this, and that little speed hill there, like the profile is just so GCI. A couple more twists and turns into the big airtime hill, and then we go into that turn with a little dip and finish. I really like that. It's a very, very good example of a family GCI coaster if it is family. I mean, the height of it, you would probably say it is family, but like the thrill level of it, it's kind of pushing family thrill at this point, I think. But I really enjoyed Jungle Racer. It's a good ride. The night lighting as well looks fantastic. Highlighting that first drop there with all the green lights, and then the rest of the track's kind of in like a nice orange. It's really cool. Yeah, that's a really great GCI. Our next set of dueling coasters is Jungle Run. Now we have a green and yellow Premier Rides set of launch coasters. I really like the look of these. These family coasters are offering a lot of airtime, twists and turns by the look of it. I like the way that they're like zooming through the trees. They look really good. Very smooth from the off-ride shots that we're getting here. I like the transfer track realism detailing, even in full queue as well. Looks very good. Just approaching the entrance of these coasters, you can see that there's a queue for each side and an exit path, so everything's been thought about with this ride. You get great views of the coaster in the queue as well. And pretty much just any way you look at it. I just really like how these two are like chasing each other around. This is what a dueling coaster should be. The two coasters are following each other pretty much perfectly, so you get great interaction while you're on the ride. We'll take a ride on the green side first. Nice chill launch. Already some great near misses as well. The interaction between these two is fantastic. It's just such a like playful layout for a coaster. Great airtime and twisting turns. It's got some pretty decent banking as well for a family coaster. And they both come into the brakes. That's really nice. We'll do the yellow side next. So again, starting out with a nice gentle launch, good head chopper with the track above. You get some killer airtime on this. Down really close to the ground, all the trees and everything. Some interesting twists and turns. You come around the corner, might get slightly hit in the face by a tree, and then come into the brakes. Yeah, that's a solid pair of family coasters. I really enjoyed them too. You can really see this being sold as like a package deal to a park somewhere. It's just like the perfect fit for like a family thrill coaster that just works really nicely. Good job. Next creation is something I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but this looks fantastic. I assume it's the fire and ice or fire and water theme again that they've gone for, but just look at it, it's fantastic. The custom supports look brilliant. The interaction with the different theming elements on either side, like the fire on the tower and the water on that side. And then this central piece, that is brilliant. I really hope a ride manufacturer does an element like that someday. It's kind of like the twisted spike that you see on the Blue Fire clones that have the multipass launch. But to have those like intertwined with each other, it's kind of like, I don't know, like the dance in the trains as they go up. It's just such a cool effect, and I really, really like the look of it. As for the rest of the ride, it looks very nice and smooth. Again, like I've said, the custom supports look great, and they just elevate this ride to make it look so much more realistic. And yeah, okay, that centre pit just looks so cool. We're going to try the orange side first, which I assume is the fire. Really smooth ride experience. Interesting how you start off going backwards as well first and then forwards. That airtime hill was very nice profiling, and that inversion. Wow, okay. This profiling is brilliant. And then we go like a little snaky twisting bit up into the element there, which is very cool. And then we go and do the whole thing again forwards. Yeah, this is really nice. Oh, these inversions are so well profiled. Obviously the smoothing helps a lot, but to actually get an inversion and like an airtime hill like that to work very well, the profiling has probably just as much, if not more, importance than the smoothing. But yeah, that looks really good. I'm going to ride the blue side now. They're kind of mirrored layouts, like I've said with a couple of them before, but slightly different variations, which is nice to see. This one almost goes a little bit faster and more intense. And then you go up into that element again, very cool. And then back down to do all the layout again. Some very nice looking custom supports, and I keep mentioning, but they're like consistent as well, consistently good throughout the entire layout, which is always nice to see. Look at the profiling on that. It's got that constant rate of turning going through the inversion, which is like, you know, you've done research into inversions when you can do it like that. Yeah, brilliant creation. I really enjoyed this one. Next up, we have Kingdom of Garuda, an insane pair of Vekoma launched flying coasters. Look at these. Oh, it's absolutely insane. Like, the Asian style theming is just perfect. These coasters, 2 meter smoothed as well, fully custom supported. This is absolutely mad. Again, like I've said, for those of you who were not thinking you could fit a themed dueling custom supported coaster in a 4K blueprint, you can. Look at this. The night lighting as well. I thought we'd have a quick look because it's beautiful. It's so subtle and it just looks fantastic, especially with the highlights on the station building there. And all the pathing and full queue that's around the area as well just looks absolutely fantastic. These two coasters are incredible. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to keep going forever, but we'll start the POV on the left train. Just enjoy. I absolutely love all these sweeping elements going over all the scenery. It's so detailed as well, and like that fly to lie section, very nice. Like the whole environment has been very well designed around these two coasters so that you get cool terrain interaction and everything. Obviously making terrain like this is fantastic, obviously because you can't do terrain in a blueprint, so you've made the terrain yourself. Looks great. And all the transitions as well look so well thought about. They're exactly like Vekoma's newer gen transitions. Like they're all very like swishy and snappy. I just love the look of these two coasters. We're going to ride the yellow one now and look up slightly a bit more so you can get a bit more view of the track. But just all the transitions and profiling are literally perfect. They're just so good. I just love how it's like these two dragons just flying over this area. It's so cool. I really need to make a flying coaster now. I'm normally not that much of a fan of them, but when you see them like this is just incredible. I love the interaction you get between the two of them as well, like flying all on top of each other. The inversions as well, brilliantly profiled, like the banking offset looks great. So smooth as well. And there we are, pulling into the brakes. Yeah, absolutely incredible creation. I really, really love this one. Please make a whole park out of this. Please, that would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, great job. On to our next recreation, we have Leviathan versus SURTHUR, I think, which is a dueling launched coaster manufactured by Gerstlauer. This looks brilliant. Very much Voltron vibes. It might be a Mac actually, but very much Voltron vibes. It looks fantastic, and the custom supporting is so interesting how it's like all held up above the station, which is really cool. Two almost mirrored coaster layouts, which must have been very difficult to be able to do, but at the same time they do have a couple of bits of different elements going on as well, which is nice to see. Custom supports, like I've just mentioned, look at them, look really, really good. I like how they're like, on this section here, like go up the side of the back of the track. That's a technique that both Mac and Gerstlauer use, so that's quite interesting to see that working. And then the beyond vertical launches here, they look fantastic. We'll go on the red side first, get perfect amount of hang time at the top. The speed of that's been controlled quite nicely. Then you go into the corkscrew, just like Voltron, down into a great speed airtime hill. Again, a very nice large hang time inversion. Going dropping and twisting everywhere. Nice speed hill, overbank turn. Very big airtime hill. And then almost like a bit of an outer bank. Diving back down. And then this is the side where you're on the other side of the like ride area with the other coaster interacting together. It's quite a long experience this. You get a lot of airtime twists and inversions in the layout, which is great. Oh, the red one's really good. We've got the blue one now. You've got the same beyond vertical launch there into the great hang time inversion. Then this one goes into I was going to say dive loop, but it's a stall actually. It's a very nicely profiled stall. It actually feels like a dive loop in a way. That's cool. And you've got interesting inversion going on there. Great custom support interaction. Some nice profiling on some of these elements as well. Then a couple of outer banks. Nice airtime moments. This one going above the station, which is really cool. How the other one kind of went under it. Oh, a nice downwards inversion there as well. Then nice airtime and turn. Going back down underneath that coaster and then into the brakes. Really nice coaster this. Good custom support and a really interesting layout. Good job. The next set of dueling coasters we have is, I assume, Long, or some other way of saying that word, but it's a pair of dueling, almost like Gerstlauer bobsled coasters. These look fantastic. Like I said with a couple of the others, this is just a completely playful layout and I just love it. The custom supports, as you can see, look absolutely brilliant, and how they're like supporting both tracks with just like the one set of supports is really cool. Just like how it would be if you bought them as a package deal, but I just love how playful these two are and how different they are as well. They follow each other around the track pretty much perfectly, like at the same time they're going over and under each other and doing loads of cool turns and everything, but the way that they keep up with each other whilst being quite different as well is just fantastic to watch. Like both of those block sections were tied up perfectly, but if you watch the rest of the layout, it's so different. Like this element here, as it leaves the station, you've got an inversion on one side and like an airtime hill on the other. It's just such a cool way to start off the ride, and then it just leads out through the rest of the coaster as well. So we'll go on the left one first, which is the one that starts off with the inversion. I love how you can see the trains whizzing past just as you dispatch as well. It's a really nice effect. The layouts just look like so action-packed and fun. Like that top hat was taken at a great speed. I love how you just fly over the top of it. It's got like some downwards twists into like quite an intense turn at the bottom. Lots of off-axis airtime as well, which looks really fun. The custom supports on that top hat look great as well. You'll see them more as we turn around here, but they look really good. There's some more twists and turns. This ride is absolutely packed with airtime. That looks brilliant. So we'll go on the other side now. You'll probably get a good view of the support cells on about on the top hat. Keep an eye on them as we go, but yeah, they look great. Like how the top hats are a little bit different as well. We go underneath the top hat of the first ride. Like a triple down there, that was really cool. Really low to the ground turn, like hopping up. How much airtime? Absolutely loads. And into the mid-course, and this is where all the little airtime and twisty turns start. I say little airtime, I mean like in terms of track size. The actual airtime you get must be mad. And then up into the brakes there as well. There's a really cool pair of coasters. I would love to see a park get something like this. It'd be a great family coaster, but also like the amount of fun you'd have on it, even for a thrill seeker. Brilliant, brilliant creation. And the last pair of coasters we have for this showcase is Malino. These look great. Nice Mack multi-launched coasters, yellow and green. We've had quite a few coasters themed like this, but this one's more of an adventure theme, which is nice to see. Interesting launch as you go straight out the station. You go like straight into a launched airtime hill, which is very cool. The custom supports as well also look very nice. Got some bits of theming around the area too. We've made like a whole themed area around it, which is fantastic to see. Nice ride sign there as you enter too. We're going to take a ride on the green side first. Like I said, that's a really unique way to start the ride with like a launched airtime hill. Really cheetah hunt vibes as you fly through all these rocks. Great stalls there that are both like matched up so that they interact with each other on the stalls. Really nicely profiled inversions too. Got like some off-axis airtime. There's all sorts going on with this. Custom supports look very good as well, like I mentioned. Nice helix around that themed piece, and then you slam into the brakes and you can see the other train there as well. That must be quite cool. If you can see the other trains like flying towards each other, both braking at the same time, it must feel like you're going to crash, which is a cool effect. Onto the other side now. This one looks slightly different. Got like twists all around the rocks there. Really nice stall element like before. This side looks a lot more whippy. Oh, we've got surprise crocodile there. I like how there's the mirrored portions as well. Really cool ride. Nice helix around the scenery piece again. Nice little whip and then into the brakes. That's a really cool set of coasters. I like these. The adventure theming's a nice touch as well. It just brings a lot more to the area, makes it quite immersive. And I really like all the foliage and rockwork that you fly around as well. It gives you something to look at while you're on the ride and just makes the whole space a lot more interesting. Really good job. There you have it. That was the second showcase of my 10k Dueling Coasters competition. Join us again tomorrow at the same time for the third and final showcase. Then after that, the voting will open where you can all decide on your favourites and who you would like to win. Thank you again so much for watching. If you entered, an extra thank you. You've all made some incredible creations and you should be very proud of what you've made. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.